G'day everyone, this is a requested video. It's requested by Roy Collinson, and Roy has asked, hey Robbie, do you reckon you could make a video on the best Murray cod baits? So in this video, I'm going to talk about the top 5 of what I consider to be the top 5 Murray cod baits. Hey you! You're watching Robbie Fishing. Starting off at number 5 is the humble worm. I love fishing with worms. Worms are probably the best bait that you'll use for anything in freshwater Victoria. They'll catch Murray cod, redfin, yellowbelly, blackfish, carp, trout, whatever's in the water will eat worms. Worms are a great all-rounder. I wouldn't say they're the best cod bait though. Cod will eat them and you'll certainly catch cod on worms, which is why they're on this list, but they're not the best, and that's why they're up at number 5. The thing with worms is they'll catch a lot of small cod. You'll go fishing with worms and other baits for Murray cod, which I'll go into further in this video, and the cod that you catch on worms are usually the smaller cod, and the bigger cod turn up on the other baits. In saying that, I have caught cod up to 70 centimetres on worms. Worms are a great cod bait. If you just want to take your kids fishing and hope that they catch a fish just so they can get a smile on their face, worms are great. But if you want to go out and try and catch a bigger Murray cod, worms probably aren't the first choice. They're probably the 5th, and that's why I've got them at number 5. So at number 5 is worms, excellent cod bait, but not great if you're targeting big cod. Now, number 4 is shrimp, freshwater shrimp. Freshwater shrimp are an awesome bait, especially for perch like yellowbelly and redfin. They love shrimp. Murray cod loves shrimp as well. If you can get a couple of quite large shrimp on the hook, you've got a chance of catching some quite large cod, because big cod will eat shrimp as well. But the reason they're not number 1 is they're not always easy to get. Where I live, here in northeast Victoria, they normally start turning up around about November, sometimes not even until December. Well, November, the season's closed anyway. And then by about sort of mid to late April into May, they're gone again. So you've only got a few months of the year where shrimp are abundant. For the rest of the year, you can't catch them. I don't know where they go. They might go into hollow logs or bury into the mud or something. But they are a dynamite bait if you can get hold of them. They're a little bit harder to get hold of than worms because you've got to go and travel and find somewhere where there's shrimp. But the thing about shrimp is they're very, very hard to keep alive. You need to have them in a bucket of water with an aerator. If you've got an aerator in the water, putting oxygen into the water, you'll keep your shrimp alive. But if the power goes out or the battery goes flat or whatever happens and your aerator stops working, they'll die pretty quick. They don't last long in still water. They use up the oxygen pretty quick and then they all die. Shrimp are excellent cod bait. Just one shrimp on the hook might catch you a smaller fish, but if you can get a couple of big shrimp and put them on, you're in the market for a bigger fish. But as I said, they're just a little bit harder to get because there's a smaller window of opportunity pretty much during the warmer months when you can get them, and they're very hard to keep alive. But if it's summer and you're fishing and you can get hold of some shrimp, put them on the hook because they're excellent Murray cod bait. Number 3 is yabbies. Murray cod love yabbies, and I don't think that a yabby exists that's too big for a Murray cod. Murray cod will eat big yabbies and small yabbies. Rule of thumb, the bigger the bait, the bigger the fish. You can put a little yabby on a little hook and you're more likely to catch a cod. You might catch a little cod. You can put a really big yabby on a big hook. You might thin out all the little cod, but when you catch one, it might be a big one. Yabbies are excellent bait, but a bit like shrimp, they're much harder to come by in the winter months. You can still get them in winter in some spots. I've got dams where I can catch yabbies in winter. Not a lot, they're harder, and I've got to work harder for them, but I can usually get a few if I want them, whereas in summer, they're everywhere. The thing with yabbies, though, as far as actual bait goes, they're not as good as the next 2 baits that I'm going to mention. They certainly work well, but quite often you'll have 2 baits in and it's the yabby that'll get the less bites. But when a yabby does get a bite from a cod, it hooks up straight away and you catch the fish. Sometimes you can sit there and fish with yabbies all day and not get a bite, and yet when you gut a fish, whether it's a yellowbelly or a Murray cod or something, it'll always have yabbies in its stomach. Sometimes I wonder if they've just got so many down there that why would they need to choose yours, if that makes sense? There's too many to choose from, I don't know. But they are a very good bait, they certainly do very well. As far as yellowbelly go, for some reason, yellowbelly, I just clean up on yabbies in lakes like Lake Nilakudi, and when Lake McCowan was a thing, yabbies were dynamite. Yet in the river, yabbies don't work as well on yellowbelly. I don't know why that is. But yabbies are certainly a very good Murray cod bait. If you've got some yabbies and you want to go cod fishing, don't be scared to put a yabby on the hook. And if it's a big yabby, even better, because you might just catch a bigger fish. Number 2 is Bardie grubs. Bardie grubs are excellent bait. As a kid, I chipped thousands of Bardie grubs. I knew where to find them and how to get them. We used to get them out with a reed. We'd get a green reed and tie a little knot in, jiggle it in their face and pull them up out of their hole. We'd get them from in the ground under the trees. And sometimes we'd use a screw. I had a speedo cable with a screw on it, and it'd just nip into the grub and we'd pull that out. And sometimes we'd get them out alive with a lasso. If we couldn't get them out with the reed, we had a lasso, which was like you can still get them. It's like a speedo cable kind of thing with a wire through it and a little lasso at the bottom. You pull the wire tight, the lasso closes around the Bardie grub, and you get it out alive. Murray cod love Bardie grubs. You can use them alive and you can use them dead. I always preferred to use them dead. I just sort of felt a bit cruel, I think, using them alive. I'd get them out of the ground, either with a reed or usually with a speedo cable with a screw on it, and then I'd just boil them for 20 or 30 seconds in water just to make them go nice and firm, just to blanch them, and then I'd put them in the freezer and I'd freeze them in packets of 10. Then I'll take them out 10 at a time and use them for bait. They're an excellent bait for Murray cod. The downside, the shrimp will pull them to bits. The carp love them as well, and turtles love them. Now, they're hard to find. You need to know exactly which trees, and even when you know which trees to look for, you've then got to find a tree that's got grubs under it. You might find a tree there that you know is the right sort of tree, it's in the right spot, and it'll still have no grubs under it. And you can do that all day. It can be very hard work collecting your own Bardie grubs. And if you decide to buy them instead of collecting them yourself, they are prohibitively expensive. I think they're like $4 or $5 a shot now. They're hard to find and they're expensive to buy, but if you can get your hands on Bardie grubs, alive or dead, they are excellent Murray cod bait. Now, Bardie grubs aren't to be confused with the smaller little witchetty grubs, or cockchafer grubs is their real names. They're not a great bait. They fall apart on the hook. They're all right for trout, but as far as Murray cod go, they're not a really good bait. But Bardie grubs, the much bigger, bright yellow Bardie grubs, are excellent if you can get hold of them. But just a word of warning, if you are going out to buy them, that's a lot of money to waste for the shrimp to pull them to bits or just to catch a carp or a turtle. So Bardie grubs are excellent bait, but they're probably the hardest bait on this list to get your hands on. Now, before I get to my number one Murray cod bait, I've got a few honourable mentions. I haven't used these baits. I've seen my friend Tim use some of these baits. I'm constantly getting people suggesting that I use these baits. All the indications are there that these are good baits. And like I said, I've seen Tim catch cod on some of these. I call these kitchen baits, but they're just a bit weird. You can get them in the kitchen or in the supermarket. They are nuggets, chicken nuggets. I have seen my friend Tim, he's been on my channel a few times. I need to get out fishing with Tim. I haven't fished with him for a while. He's a great guy. I've seen Tim catch Murray cod on chicken nuggets with sweet and sour sauce on them. I know for a fact that chicken nuggets work. A lot of people tell me they catch cod on chicken nuggets. You can buy them at the supermarket frozen and they will work. Look at this, Tim's on, Tim's on. You got him? I'll grab my phone in case it's something worth getting a photo of. Lovely little trout cod. What did you catch that on, Tim?
Cheese and chicken nugget with sweet and sour sauce.
On the one hook?
On the one hook.
Cheese and chicken. Doesn't the sauce wash off?
Hold on.
Here it is. Huge big sinker. Bit of cheese, a chicken nugget and some sweet and sour sauce. That's the McSecret bait. It'll work. Hot dogs. I've never used these or seen anyone else use them, but a lot of people tell me that they catch Murray cod on cocktail frankfurts. I guess that you just put them on the hook a bit like a Bardie grub, I suppose. I'm not sure, but apparently they work really well. Certainly something to try, but as I said, I've not used them. Dim Sims. I've never used them either, but lots of people tell me that they've caught Murray cod on dim sims, and I know they work because I've had lots of feedback. Chicken fingers. I've seen Tim use chicken fingers for bait, a little bit like chicken nuggets. Chicken fingers are the same sort of thing, except the nugget's a nugget shape and a finger's like a chip shape, the shape of a finger. And I know they work well. I've seen Tim catch cod on them, and I just know they work. And chicken. Chicken is a dynamite bait, and I have used chicken. I've never used just raw chicken. Some people will get like chicken breasts, cut them into bits, and use that for bait and catch cod on it. I've used the flavoured chicken, I suppose. You can get it from the Complete Angler from Adventure Camping and Fishing in Wangaratta. It's called Chicken's Hit. Sort of sounds a bit like chicken shit, doesn't it? But Chicken's Hit. The S is on the chicken, not on the hit. It's marinated in something, I don't know what. It's very, very strong smelling. You buy it frozen, it's in strips, you put them on the hook, and it's dynamite. I've caught a lot of Murray cod on chickens hit, but I know from what I've been told that you can just use parts of a chicken breast. You can buy a chicken breast from the supermarket, cut it up, and it'll work well. I would imagine in the winter months that you would probably catch a lot of crayfish on it, but I believe it's a good bait. My friend Schulte caught one over a metre long, a Murray cod over a metre in Lake Eildon on a bit of chicken. For months he planned this trip to Lake Eildon. You can check out his channel, Andrew Schultz Outdoors. He's an absolute legend of a man and a good friend of mine. But for months he planned this trip to Lake Eildon. He bought these ballista tremors and all these fancy lures and stuff, and he couldn't wait to get up there. And he was up there for a few days. And I was dying to know, I saw the photo of the fish, and I was dying to know which lure he caught it on. I said, what did you catch the fish on? And he said, I bought all those lures only to catch the fish on a dirty old bit of chicken. So chicken is a good bait, but it's not my number one bait. That's coming up now. Number one, my personal number one bait for Murray cod, cheese. Cheese is an awesome Murray cod bait. It's cheap, it's easy to find. All supermarkets have it. You can usually, in the winter, I'll use mozzarella cheese, and in the summer I'll use tasty cheese. Now I'll just explain why. People laugh when I say that, but it's quite true. In the summer, the mozzarella cheese just gets so soft it falls off the hook. Whereas in the winter, when the water's a lot colder, it stays quite firm on the hook and it grips the hook really well. Whereas tasty cheese goes the other way. In the winter, it just becomes so brittle and flaky. You try and put it on the hook and it just snaps. But in the summer, it doesn't. It's a bit more flexible and it sticks on the hook better. So I use mozzarella cheese in the winter and I use tasty cheese in the summer. There are people that will tell you you shouldn't use cheese, it's bad for the fish, it kills them. I don't believe that. I have spoken to fisheries in both states, Victoria and New South Wales, and the word on the street is that there was an unofficial, undocumented test ran in New South Wales where they had a cod in the tank, they fed it cheese for a few weeks and nothing happened. That's what I heard. I'm of the belief, in summer, where I live in Wangaratta, every single night there's people right along the bank of the river using cheese for bait. They're all catching cod of varying sizes, mostly small, but maybe some a bit bigger. If cheese was really that bad, there would be dead cod floating everywhere. You'd just find dead cod. We find the occasional dead fish, probably more likely because it was not handled correctly when it was caught, or it was kept out of the water too long for a photo or to get the hook out. I don't think it was from the cheese. But if cheese was really that bad for cod, I think that fisheries would look hard into banning it, and they'd do a lot more testing and stuff if there were any real concerns. Maybe someone's caught a cod on cheese, stuffed around for too long getting the hook out of its gills, thrown it back and the fish died, and then they've said, cheese's fault. Not their fault because they had it out of the water too long, it must be the cheese. So if you hear anybody saying don't use cheese, it's bad for the fish, I think that's quite a myth. I don't think that's true. I think cheese is a very good bait. I've gutted cod with golf balls in their stomach and mussels in their stomach. Live mussels, crayfish. I've never actually gutted a cod with the crayfish in it, but people have sent me photos since I mentioned that a while back of crayfish inside Murray cod stomachs. Just think of a crayfish with all the spikes. If they can digest that, then I'm sure they can digest cheese. Cheese is it's affordable, it's easy to find, and it works very well, and you can choose the size. A small bit of cheese will catch you a small cod. A big bit of cheese might thin out the small cod, but you might catch a big one. I've seen fish over a metre caught on cheese. Cheese is my number one bait. Something's going to go on me cheese. Oh, I missed it. Finally had a decent bite on me cheese. Didn't steal the cheese, so I'll put it straight back out there. First bite on the cheese. Oh, straight back on. Got him this time though. Oh yes, keep it nice and high, Robbie. Stop him going in the snags. Oh, whoa. That's a nice fish. Whoa. There's a bit of weight in this fish. I just got to keep it out of the snags. I've had a disaster. I reckon this could be a 60 or 70 centimetre cod if I'm lucky. Oh, there's a bit of weight in this fish. Oh, look at that. Big. Oh yeah, he's 75 or so, I reckon. Oh, whoa. Where's my net? Oh, I don't want to give it any slack, but I'm gonna. There we go. Probably been sitting here pigging out on small carp. Wish I had someone with me to get a photo of this. Biggest cod I've caught for a couple of years. Come on, buddy. Come on, big guru. Into the net. Be a disaster if I looked at my camera and realised that I wasn't recording, because this is, if nothing else, going to be a good memory. That is a lovely fish. That is a decent fish. Biggest one I've caught for quite a while. Get in the net. Oh, you ripper. Oh, that's 15 or 20 pound. Look at the size of it. Woohoo. Yeah, I'm going to get a quick photo and a measure and put it back. 80. It's 79 to the hook. So it's about 82 centimetres. Not just 82, but 82 very, very fat centimetres. Alright mate, I'll unhook you and get you back. Right, I'm not going to worry about any slow motion footage. I'm just going to get this big girl back, assuming it's a girl. Watch it go. See you later, beautiful fish. Gone! Woohoo! 82 centimetres. Biggest one for a few years. And a very fat 82 centimetres. Oh, I am so happy. And I love it when they swim off like that. Poof, a real fast kick. Well, Roy, I hope this answers your question, mate. I hope you've found this video informative. I often get these kinds of questions in the summertime when the fishing's really good, and I screenshot them and leave them on my phone. And then in the winter time when it's really slow like now, that's when I'm more likely to make these types of videos. So you might have asked this question a while back, but hopefully I've given you a good answer now. And I hope all of you watching have found this video useful and informative. Thank you all very much for watching.